Annie Get Your Gun is the story of Annie Oakley, who is a rootin' tootin' country girl that likes to shoot.
She's never really been anywhere, and she's lacking a little in the culture department, and she meets up with these people who are in show business and winds up joining their show.
Falls in her lap, stardom does, and she's such a good shooter, and she's not really educated. She doesn't know how to read, even though not a lot of people know that. But so I mean, she's very simple, but she winds up because of her skills. She kind of starts to, I don't know, kind of take over Frank Butler's spot.
She's a diamond in the rough, and Frank is enamored with her eventually, and they separate, and then they get back together and fall in love, and I guess live happily ever after.
It's based on the life of a real person, Annie Oakley, and she was really married to Frank Butler. They really came together and knew one another for the first time during Buffalo Bill Cody's Wild West show. Annie was, when she was a young girl, her family was poor, and she went out and shot game and sold it to pay off the debt on the farm. And she got so good at shooting that she went on and joined the Wild West show. She did compete with Frank in a shooting match, and she beat him right away. And he absolutely loved her and married her instantly. So it didn't take quite as long as what's in the show. The show portrays that story of their love, the love story of Frank and Annie.
Well, it's loosely based on a real story of Annie Oakley and Frank Butler in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. And it's kind of your quintessential musical. It's kind of cheesy, but it's supposed to be. You know, there's a lot of schmacting in it, which is like acting, but more so.
It's definitely a different kind of musical. It's not like one that I've been in or seen before. I like to describe it as it starts off like it's in a show within a show.
It was a play that was done back in, I think, the late 40s, early 50s, and written by Irving Berlin. It was, I think, the original star, and it was Ethel Merman, and it's been one of the mainstays of community theater and Broadway. It's been revived several times on Broadway. It's just one of America's favorite musicals, and I think most of the songs are the kinds that most people, even if they're not really familiar with a lot of Broadway shows, are going to know about Annie Get Your Gun and the songs in Annie Get Your Gun. There's no business like show business. It's one of the most well-known tunes there's ever been. And when people see the play, they also hear a lot of other numbers that they probably heard and hummed all their life that would come from that show.
It's fun. It is, I guess, maybe what I would think of as a typical Broadway musical. If people have come to see, say, Steel Magnolias, there were some touching and moving parts in it. Annie Get Your Gun is just all about fun, and there's so many just great songs in it. Real standards like No Business Like Show Business. That's one that everybody knows. Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better. That's another one that you can't listen to the songs and not want to sing along. Or a couple of years ago, we bought the soundtrack to this show, and I bet we've listened to it 5,000 times because it's so good. Every song in it is so good that you just want to keep listening to it and sing along.
Annie Get Your Gun is a different musical than anything that we've done before. There will be a lot of surprises in this show. It's very energetic and fast-paced. It's a great classic American musical. It's been on Broadway. It's been revived in 1999, and we're really excited about getting to do it.
To be honest with you, this is the first time I've seen the play. I've not seen the movie. I've not seen the play, and I didn't realize that Annie is from the Appalachian area because they first meet in Cincinnati, Ohio, and back in that era, she comes from the hills, and I grew up in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, so that was kind of interesting.
Annie is a very backwoods young lady. She has not been out around people very much at all, and at the beginning of the show that is very evident. Her character grows during the show as she meets Buffalo Bill and becomes a part of his show and gets out traveling with that show. She grows and learns to read, and she's still Annie underneath. She never loses who she really is, but she does grow through the show, and she's a lot of fun.
The music and the choreography is why I do these shows. It's so fun to learn the music, then to put dance steps with it. It's something that I never thought I would be doing at this point in my life, and it's so much fun. It's just been a blast.
This is the first play that I've been in, and I thought, well, I don't know if I can do this. I sort of got talked into doing it with my daughter, but I really enjoyed it. The steps and choreographing, it hadn't been too bad.
It's been a little tough. It's, you know, it's kind of difficult, but once it finally comes together, you know, it's a huge relief to finally get it down.
Once you do it a few times, it's easy to learn, but you've got to remember how to do it. It's really fun.
Yeah.
The music and the choreography is what makes a musical. It just adds so much more life to it, and just can have audience members singing along, and it's just a great, you know, way to express yourself and, you know, singing and dancing.
We're stumbling through it. I have never been in anything dancing, so it's been a lot of fun, a lot of good exercise.
I've never been in actively in the musicals except Hello Dolly, and then I just had a speaking part because I've always been afraid to try the dancing and the singing, but was encouraged by the musical director that I could sing, and our choreographer Brian has, you know, he's very patient with those of us who are not comfortable with it, and I really think it's a good thing to do, and they are both very patient with all of us, so no one needs to be afraid to try it, because everybody takes their time and we all help each other, and those who are more experienced help us, those of us who are not.
Brian is a fabulous fellow to work with, and of course Nathan doing the music. They are just a great team, and they work well with us. They are very patient with us because we're not professionals. This is something that we have to learn from the beginning, from a grapevine and a jazz square all the way up to some of the more difficult steps, and they're very patient. And they do a great job, and when you see it all put together, you're just kind of fascinated with the whole procedure.
If I can do it, anybody can do it. So if you're at all interested in theater and want to get involved, don't say to yourself, I don't sing, I don't dance, because there's always a place for you.